Justin Morrow. Justin, welcome, my friend.
Hey, Anthony, thanks for having me.
Hey, pleasure's all mine. Congratulations. What a game it was for you. A lot of times we always talk about team and team first, and that's great to do. But this time, let's talk about Justin Morrow and how confident he felt in that game to put in a couple goals for his squad.
Yeah, it was a good game, man. It was nice to get the victory in the end by a nice margin. I think our performance improved as the game went on. That showed in the second half when we were able to pull away and score some goals.
Justin, you show composure when you're in that box. So when you go on that offensive threat that you like to do down those flanks, you're composed, you're relaxed. How did you get that in you? How is it instilled? Because let's be honest, guys in your position, when they're in that situation, they tend not to do the right thing.
I think the composure comes from my teammates. You know, I watch guys like Seba and Josie. I see what they do. They get lots of chances to shoot every game. I only get a couple of chances every game, you know. So I just try and make my mind up from the beginning when I'm going to shoot, when I'm going to pass, and when I decide I'm going to shoot, I'm going for it.
Justin, there's a different look to you this year since game one. There's a different look to the team. There's a different swagger. There's a different mindset. Obviously, we know what took place last year, the last game on home field. But there's something different about this squad that I can't pinpoint. There's a harmony, there's a responsibility, but there's also a hunger to get it going once the playoffs start to wrong the right.
Yeah, I think it's a mentality more than anything. We know the type of year that we had last year. We came in, we decided that we wanted to improve upon that year during the regular season. I think we've done that. We're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to fight over these last 11 games or so to build momentum to go into the playoffs and make sure we give ourselves the best chance to win MLS Cup.
Justin, I've never seen a team with the depth of your team. I've been following MLS since day one, and I've never seen a bench like this. In my opinion, many of those guys can start and play a full 90 on a lot of the teams and really not look out of place. How good is that? For a guy like you and all the starters on the bench, if you're having an off day or maybe you get a little nick, a little bruise, you got to go off, that it's a relaxed feeling knowing someone's coming in there, they're going to get that job done.
I think, as you said, the depth is so important for us. You look around the world, not only in MLS, but in other leagues as well, the best teams have players that can come off the bench and contribute, you know, whether it's one person starting one week, another person starting the next week, you know the level's not going to drop, and that level of competition within the team raises the overall competition in terms of going against other teams, and you're able to know that no matter who's on the pitch, you're going to get the job done.
Justin, we're starting to see now, finally, after the last number of years, teams have been trying to instill identities on their teams. I love what FC Dallas is doing. I'm really enjoying their style of play. We're starting to see the style of play from different teams like, a Montreal or, a Red Bulls, on and on. They're starting to instill an identity. We see it with Chicago, Dax McCarty, Bastian Schweinsteiger, and the new head coach there the last couple of years who's instilled an identity. Head coach Greg Vanney has that identity with you guys, and it's an offensive one, I believe. How good is that, knowing that your coach believes in you guys going full out each game instead of putting a brick wall?
Yeah, Greg has always been offensive in nature, but I think one of the most important things Greg brings to the table and has instilled with us is a diversity to play in a number of different ways depending on the situation. I think we're pretty good at changing our dynamics in the game. You know, if we realize that a game is demanding more of one thing, then we change to that, whereas, teams might be a little bit more rigid that aren't able to do that. I think that's a great weapon for us.
Justin, I feel that there's still another gear. I believe that there's another gear. I believe that you guys still can take care of some odds and ends and really make sure that you start fresh and quick in most games and not lose lapses like some games you've done this year, very few. And so once I believe you get into that another gear, I believe you guys are untouchable.
We're very demanding of ourselves. The amount of pressure that the fans put on us, they're there supporting us every game. We know that we want to do well for the fans, but most importantly, we demand excellence of ourselves. And so I think we will get better because we're demanding that of ourselves. We will look at all the loose ends, as you said, things that we can tighten up the screws going into these last couple of games. You know these games are going to be harder. You know other teams are fighting for their jobs. They're fighting for that playoff spot. So we know the games are going to be tougher. And to make an impact in the playoffs, we have to be sharp in every aspect of the game. And so that's what we have to do.
Justin, you talked about the supporters. I'm born and raised here in Toronto, followed the game ever since I can remember as a little boy going to games back in the North American Soccer League days, Canadian Soccer League days, but I've never seen supporters like this. I get out of the press box Saturday night to see that unveiling of the Greg father, and I couldn't stop smiling but also laughing to say to myself, if Toronto isn't the number one market in all of MLS, then I don't know who is. Talk about those supporters.
Oh, they're amazing. You know, they keep us going, coming home, knowing after a road game that we get to come home and play in the best, like you said, the best atmosphere in MLS. To play in BMO, a great stadium, with these fans, it's incredible to have them at your back, and it really pushes us forward.
So for the last year and a half, Justin, I've been yelling and screaming, shaking my head, banging my fist on this desk here, and saying to myself, why, oh why, the former coach, Jurgen Klinsmann, and then even Bruce Arena wouldn't call up Justin Morrow. Finally, you get called up. Thank God for that, because I was beginning to wonder what was in the water at the offices there at U.S. Soccer. Bruce calls you up. A Gold Cup winner. It's got to be great to play for your country, but also finally to be acknowledged that, yes, I can play with the big boys and I belong.
Yeah, it's something that I've wanted for a long time in my career, is to be with the national team. To finally get that chance again after a couple of years being away, it meant everything. To win a trophy was special, and then to win a trophy with my teammates here at TFC with the national team, with Michael and Josie, that was a special moment as well.
Justin, talk about the family atmosphere with this club. Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, the owners, all they've ever done is write the checks, keep their mouth shut. Larry Tannenbaum and the board, all they've ever wanted was a winner. They've never spared any cost in any area at all. Bill Manning, for me, is a top executive in all of U.S. and Canada in sports. Greg and Tim, they've done a fantastic job. But talk about also living in this city the last couple of years, living in this country of Canada. What does it mean to you? What do you love about it?
You know, I didn't know much about Toronto or Canada in general before I moved here, and I had my reservations, and anyone that I spoke to always spoke highly of Toronto. It's been amazing since I've lived here. The people have embraced me and my family, and that's the best part about it. You know, I always wanted to live in a big city, but I honestly tell that the most beautiful thing about this city are its people. They're so diverse, they're so welcoming, they're fun, they're lively, they get out, there's always something going on in the city, and no one's excluded.
And you feel comfortable? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel stress-free being able to walk the streets of Toronto and enjoy with your family?
Yeah, I definitely feel comfortable. Routinely, my wife and my daughter will go on walks throughout the city. We'll stop at parks. It's just a great atmosphere to be in this city.
Let's talk about the kids very quickly, and then we'll let you go. A couple other things. And the grassroots component. Obviously, growing up, there had to be some important people in your life, Justin, whether it was a coach, a sibling, a parent, someone that believed in you. And unfortunately, in the youth sports of soccer today, it's become big business, and a lot of times it's about the trophies, the wins, the losses, and a lot of times the kids on the benches get forgotten, but moms and dads keep writing those checks. What's the advice, Justin, you want to give to those coaches that think they're coaching in the World Cup, but also to that young boy or even young girl that's struggling with some confidence because they're on that bench and they want to be the next Justin Morrow?
Yeah, the advice I'd give to the coaches is say that you're there to develop this talent and continue this game. You know, their job is a lot bigger than you. It's a lot bigger than money. It's all about the game, and it's all about the people that you're working with. We need to make an impact on each other's lives, make a positive impact on each other's lives, and help each other out as much as possible. Because you know what? In the end, the connection between people is the most important thing, and the things that you pass down, those will last forever.
And you have a big, big heart, and a faith plays a big role in your family and in yourself. How important is it to you, your faith, that when you're having a down day or maybe not such a great game, that faith is so important to you to fall back on?
Yeah, my family has been behind me throughout my career. My parents, my wife, my sister, my friends, those things keep me going. You know, my parents were here for the game this weekend. We were able to share a special moment after all of these years, them coming to watch me play soccer in so many different places. And my mom, I remember my mom driving countless hours to take me across the city to go to practice when I was young. So to be able to share that moment with them this weekend, where the team gets a good win and I'm able to score some goals, that was fantastic. Those are things you don't forget.
And things you don't forget as a parent myself with two boys is those wonderful rides, the early mornings, the tournaments, taking time off work, filling the gas tank. It doesn't matter to us as parents, Justin. All that matters is that you're healthy, happy, you got a smile on your face, living your dream. Your parents saw it. They must be absolutely over the moon, excited for you and your family. Last point I want to talk about before we let you go. Last night, I don't know if you got a chance, but Red Bulls and Cincinnati, the U.S. Open Cup, unbelievable. I couldn't stop smiling because the game has arrived in Canada and the U.S. of A. And to me, Ohio, again, as a parent, Justin, traveling to a lot of youth tournaments with my kids down there is an unbelievable untapped market, whether it's Cincinnati. I believe Cleveland, who I had many friends when they used to play with the Cleveland Crunch in the indoor season, Hector Marinaro Jr., I think that is a special market as well. Talk about that in Ohio as well.
Yeah, well, for the first time in my career over the summer, I was able to be a professional match with the national team in Cleveland. And to see the amount of support that's there, you know, the city does have soccer passion there, and so that was unbelievable for me to see that. Ohio in general is, as you said, it's underrated in terms of the amount of soccer that's going on there, the amount of talent that's coming out, and so it's a big state. And look, in general, in the United States, the sport is growing, and so just to see that last night in Cincinnati, to see a packed stadium, and see another new market pop up around the United States, that's the most important thing, you know. The way the sport is growing, it's going to be major in a couple of years, and even now it's unbelievable.
Justin, thank you so much for making time. Congratulations on the MLS Player of the Week. Good luck the rest of the way, and once again, we welcome you with open arms in the city of Toronto in Canada, and again, continued success.
All right, thanks very much. Thanks for having me.